On the 19th of October, 2017, a telescope on a Hawaiian volcano caught a faint smudge of light, moving too fast to belong to our Sun. It had come from another star. It spent a few weeks among our planets, behaved like nothing we had ever seen, and then it left, speeding up as it went, as if something had pushed it. We will never see it again. This is a cold case where the evidence drove away. The first confirmed visitor from another star, and almost 10 years later, we still cannot agree on what it was. The Cosmic Files, File 004, Oumuamua. It was found by a robotic survey telescope in Hawaii, sweeping the sky every night for asteroids that might one day hit us. On that night, it logged something that did not fit. At first, it looked like just another faint asteroid, but when they measured its path, the numbers refused to close into an orbit around the Sun. It was moving far too fast. The Sun's gravity could not hold it, could not bend its path into a loop. It was not falling around the Sun, it was passing straight through, on a one-way road. Everything about its path said the same impossible thing. It came from outside. It had fallen in from the direction of Vega, a bright star 25 light-years away, though it had wandered the galaxy for so long that its true home is lost. It had been drifting in the dark, alone, for hundreds of millions of years. Hawaiian astronomers gave it a name, Oumuamua, a scout, a messenger, reaching out from the distant past. But by the time anyone understood what it was already leaving. Faint, fading, racing back toward the dark. We had days, not years, to look at the first visitor from another star. We never saw its shape directly. It was far too small and too far. But its brightness flickered, swinging by a factor of 10, over and over as it spun. Only one thing could flicker like that, an extreme shape. Long and thin or flat like a blade, far more elongated than any asteroid in our own solar system. Something stretched. Everything we could measure made it stranger. It was dark red, the color of a surface roasted by cosmic radiation across unimaginable time. It tumbled end over end, out of control, as if it had been knocked spinning long ago and never stopped. And then it did the thing that turned a curiosity into a mystery. As it rounded the Sun and headed back into the dark, it sped up, a tiny, measurable extra push, not from gravity, from something else. A comet does exactly that. Ice turns to gas in the Sun's heat, the gas jets out one side, and the comet gets a gentle shove, like air escaping a balloon. So it was a comet, except for one problem. We looked with our best telescopes and saw nothing. No tail, no glowing coma, no gas, no dust, no jets. Whatever pushed Oumuamua left no trace we could find. The file opened 3 suspects. 3 explanations for a push with no plume. 3 suspects for what Oumuamua really was. The first suspect is the simplest. A comet venting gases we simply could not see, hydrogen or carbon monoxide that leave no bright tail. It is the calm answer. But the gases and normal comet vents were not there, and the ones that could hide were the wrong ones. Possible, strained, not quite enough. The second suspect is stranger. Not a comet of water ice, but a shard of frozen hydrogen or nitrogen, sublimating away invisibly as it warmed. A nitrogen iceberg, perhaps chipped from a frozen Pluto-like world around another star, eroded flat by ages of sunlight, venting an invisible gas. It explains the shape and the push at once. The leading natural answer, still unproven. The third suspect is the one everyone remembers. A Harvard astronomer named Avi Loeb pointed out that the push matched something thin and light enough to be shoved by sunlight itself. A sail. Sunlight carries a faint pressure. On anything thick, it does nothing. But on something wide and feather-thin, it pushes gently, steadily, the way wind moves a sail. The numbers, Loeb argued, fit a sail almost too well. The strange shape, the push with no gas, the lack of a tail, each one explainable alone, Loeb said, but together pointing somewhere uncomfortable. At least, he argued, we should not refuse to look. Most astronomers disagreed firmly. Extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence, and a strange natural rock, however exotic, does not require aliens. The consensus held. Oumuamua was natural, probably. But here is the cruelty of this case. We had days, not years. By the time the argument even began, the object was already too far, too faint to study. No spacecraft could be built and launched in time. It was leaving, and we could not follow. The window was open for a heartbeat, and then it was gone. There was no mission ready, no probe waiting, no way to chase a thing already moving at 100,000 kilometers an hour into the dark. We watched it go, and we wrote down what little we had. It is out there right now, a dark, frozen shard tumbling silently back into interstellar space, heading roughly toward the constellation Pegasus, and it will not pass another star for hundreds of thousands of years. 2 years later, a second interstellar visitor arrived. Borisov, and it was, almost disappointingly, normal. A textbook comet with a proper glowing tail, behaving exactly as a comet should. Which did not solve the mystery, it deepened it. The second visitor played by the rules. The first one broke them. Oumuamua remains the strange one, the exception, the question mark. New eyes are opening. A great survey telescope in Chile is beginning to scan the entire southern sky, and it may find interstellar objects often, perhaps one a month. Next time, we may be ready to chase. But never for this one. The first visitor is gone, and it took its answer with it into the dark. Whatever Oumuamua was, it will stay that way. So what was it? The honest answer is that we do not know. The scientific consensus leans natural, an exotic comet, or a strange shard of ice. Probably. But probably is not the same as certain. And Oumuamua is the first time we have had to ask the question seriously in the cold language of physics and find that we could not quite rule it out. It came from the dark between the stars. It passed close enough to touch by the scale of the heavens. It did something we still cannot fully explain. And then it was gone before we could look closer. If it was a rock, it was the strangest rock we have ever seen. If it was anything else, then we just missed our one and only chance to ever find out. The first visitor from another star came and went in a single autumn. We do not know what it was, and somewhere out there, in the dark between the stars, the next one is already on its way. Oumuamua is gone. What it was, we may never know. And the file stays open.